Hi, I'm Terry from Bunbury Farmers Markets, where we always have extreme value and extreme freshness.
And hi, I'm Sonia. And what are you doing today, Terry, with all these beautiful apples?
Well, these are truly beautiful apples, our lovely New Seasons apples, very local apples too, and we're using Granny Smith apples today. But you know what? You don't always have to use Granny Smith.
Oh.
And I'm making an apple pie.
Beautiful.
I thought I might let you know what's going on.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And so you can use other apples. Traditionally, it's always been with Granny Smiths.
Yeah, I think they tend to have, they're a good size. They're always nice and big. They tend to be always very crisp, and they're a little bit tarty.
They are a little bit tarty.
And a lot of people like that little bit of tart in their pies.
Nice.
But you can use the galas, you can use the pink ladies, you can use the Fujis. But I am using the grannies. And
Beautiful.
what we've done to start with is I've sliced them up, and they're still raw. And I squeeze a little bit of lemon juice over them, and that just helps with the oxidization. If they do go a bit brown, don't panic, you can still use them, there's nothing wrong with them. Now the first thing I have done though, is I have baked off a base here for my pie. Now, normally I would make my own short crust pastry, and I use short crust, not puff. But today, for this purpose, we are using a pre-bought one, a frozen one.
So you use short crust too for the lid? Oh, you don't use puff for the lid? No, it's all short crust all the way?
All short crust.
Beautiful.
And when you do line your pie dish, make sure you bake the base blind. And baking blind is putting a little bit of paper on the raw pastry and then popping either rice or split peas on top.
Oh, to weight it down.
And it weights it down because you don't want it to be all puffy in the bottom. Even though it's a short crust pastry, it still will rise a little bit. So that's what you do, and that's how you bake it, okay? And you bake it for about 10 to 15 minutes until it starts to crust up. And then you remove this and you pop it back in so the base will go a little bit crusty. But by that time it's firmed up. Now the reason why I like it like that is I don't like soggy bottom pies.
No one likes a soggy bottom pie.
No one. Soggy bottom, that's right.
So that's the secret.
That's a simple little secret. A little bit of work, but...
And you don't prick the base or anything? You just leave it as is?
You can do a bit of pricking on the base if you want to, but I find usually the blind baking method keeps it nice and flat.
Okay.
So once we've got our beautiful pie base, we get our lovely apples that we've sliced up nice and fine, and I just throw them in, and I kind of do a couple of layers here. I add a little bit of melted butter, because butter and apples, I don't know, there's something about it. It just goes so nice together.
They certainly do.
And I do a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg in there as well.
Nice. Nice traditional little spices.
Well, they are, especially for pies. Hey. And
also, Nan used to put cloves in hers.
Yes, I've done that as well. And there's another one where I lay a jam at the bottom, and then another one where I put sultanas in there too. It's look,
you can do whatever you like.
Bit of sugar because they are tarty, and you want to get rid of the tart.
Absolutely, especially for me because I'm a sweet tooth.
Oh yeah, and sometimes I use raw sugar or brown sugar. I like that as well.
Could you use honey and golden syrup and things if you needed to?
Yes. Hey, you know, the best part of cooking is there's not really any rules. The rules that you make, and you can break them. Now you'll notice that I'm piling it up quite high. The reason for that is, as it does cook, they sometimes collapse down, and you don't want your top collapsing.
No. And because the beautiful juices would just be very, very yummy. So, and with the sugar, make the juices into a syrup?
It's not too syrupy. No, it's not too syrupy. A little bit of butter and a little bit more sugar on top. Now, this part is where you can express your individuality in the kitchen, because we're going to put a top on it.
Excellent.
Now here's my pre-done pastry, which, like I said, it's a bit of a cheats way.
Well, it's so convenient, isn't it?
It is very convenient, and it means you can have it in the freezer ready to go at any time. Okay? And I like making strudels with the puff pastry, but this one is good. So I just lay it over the top, like so. Just wiggle it around a little bit. Now, I can use either milk or egg white.
Egg white.
And I'll just run it around the edge here to dampen it up.
And that seals it?
Helps with the sealing process. Yeah, it does. And then I just press it down. Now, quite often, if you're using the pre-done sheets, they're not quite big enough for a pie like this, especially a fairly standard pie bowl. So what I normally do is I'll cut a little strip across like this, and I'll just tidy up the edges a bit.
Okay, like a little jigsaw.
Yeah, and that's why I said you can be a little bit expressive.
Yeah, do some patterns or anything.
Do your patterns and just make it look pretty. And an apple pie is kind of one of those things where everybody knows about them, but everyone still loves them. You know?
Oh, and they're a family favourite at our place, that's for sure.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
My grandmother used to make all her own pastry and things. It was so buttery and used to fall apart. And but that was just Sunday lunchtime was always apple pie day.
There is a lot of fun family memories when it comes to desserts. It's amazing.
To do with food, really, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that bring us all together.
Yes.
And it certainly does form the basis of a lot of incredible memories that the families will look back on in years to come.
Yeah, definitely. Mind you, we try and make the apple pie like Nan makes it, and I think she uses lard instead of butter.
Yeah. A lot of old traditional chefs do use that. That's right. And I'm going to be very simple with this because, let's face it, you can spend something like 10-15 minutes just decorating your pie. All I've done is I've cut some fake little leaves out here, and I'll just show one simple thing which always looks really nice and it's very easy to do. And that's just make a fake little rose. So you just cut a nice thin strip and you just roll it around kind of like so, and just make the petals and just fold
look
it
how
back
clever
on
you
itself.
are, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just kind of simple little thing.
And it
Put
finishes
on
off
top
perfect.
and just glaze it with your little glaze mix. Hopefully you'll have a proper brush, not this horrible silicone one which flaps it around.
But definitely
everywhere.
the finer hairbrushes are better.
I definitely think so. And then I just cut around the edge of the pie like this. Hopefully stuck it on well enough.
It's a perfect job.
Some people get really fancy and pinch the edges and amazing things.
Yeah, that looks beautiful. We've done a great job.
So that's nice. And then I just cut a couple of slashes inside there like that, and that helps the steam escape.
So that would make your pastry a lot more crisper with the steam holes in it?
I think it does too.
Yes?
I think it does help. I really do. I haven't done a lot of pie science, but I think that does help.
You would think it would. That looks
Alright.
beautiful.
Okay, so in she goes.
Oh, and you should see the one Terry's done before. It looks fabulous.
Yes, it does. Great.
Looks very nice. But please, our new season's apples are in. The Granny Smiths are beautiful. Really, really lovely and crispy. Good for doing with your roast pork as well. They make a great apple sauce. Just either do them in the microwave or on top of the stove with a little bit of sugar. And honestly, the flavour in them are fantastic. And if you've got a lot of storage, you'll put these in your fridge. They'll last up to about 3 months.
That's amazing, actually, how well they do that.
Yeah, they do. Look at that.
And I think that's why a lot of people like the Granny Smiths, is they do tend to last a long time.
Absolutely.
Clear our mess away, which is very hard, seeing as I've made a heap of it.
No.
And then we've got our pie we made a little bit earlier on.
It looks beautiful, doesn't it? You've done a great job on the top.
Yeah, I spend a little bit more time.
Yeah, well, the other one looks perfect too, but that looks great. Your little roses come up a treat.
Okay, all right. Now,
and of course we're going to be doing this with cream. You can do it with ice cream or custard, which we've got the Harvey Fresh range at the shop, which is very convenient as well.
it is, and it's a wonderful range too that we have.
It is. Oh, look at that.
If you've got a little spatula,
Might come in
probably
handy.
helps. You know, the first part of the pie is the hardest part to remove.
Always.
It is. It's a bit sad actually how hard it is to get out.
Oh, look at that.
Right.
Beautiful. You can see all the spices in that through the apple, through the layering.
No, and the apple hasn't gone too soggy either inside.
You can smell the cinnamon and nutmeg.
And the cinnamon and nutmeg are a beautiful
Yeah,
aroma,
you can
that's
really
right.
smell it. It's
So
beautiful.
maybe we should pop a little bit of cream on there.
Sure.
Like, there you go. And Sonia, would you like to partake?
Absolutely. I'll just get the other spoon with the less cream on it. This looks beautiful.
I like making it so it doesn't go too soggy. Another way is if you want to pre-cook your apples, you can do that. And some people do that and then you just lay a top rather than a base, and it's kind of a simpler version of the pie.
Oh no, I'm a pastry girl, so the double layer pastry for me is perfect. Those apples have still got that crunch to them.
Yeah.
Perfect. Beautiful. You've done a
Excellent.
great job.
Thank you very much. Now, you too could emulate this by coming into Bunbury Farmers Markets. Remember, we're open 7 days a week, where all of our fresh produce is straight from the growers to you at home.